Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL offseason, you know that it's been a whirlwind for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The team that's been known for its strong defense, resilient play, and a solid core of players is once again looking to upgrade, reshape, and strengthen its roster for the upcoming season. And trust me, this offseason has been filled with rumors, strategic moves, and some surprises that could very well define the Steelers' trajectory in 2024 and beyond. The latest buzz, well, it involves some intriguing trade talks, some potential blockbuster moves, and a few key players that could be on the move soon, all aiming to bolster the team's position as a serious contender in the AFC. Let's start with the recent developments. The Steelers, after a somewhat turbulent 2023 season, are clearly signaling that they're serious about contending. One of the biggest moves so far was trading away a young and promising wide receiver, George Pickens, to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, losing Pickens hurts, right? Well, the Steelers are always looking for ways to shake things up, and that trade opens the door for some new possibilities. It's clear that the team is looking to diversify its offensive weapons and add more playmakers, especially at the tight end position. This brings us to the intriguing reports from ESPN's Adam Schefter, who mentioned that the Steelers had shown interest in Miami Dolphins tight end Jonnu Smith. Now, Jonnu Smith is a guy who's had his ups and downs in the league, but when he's healthy, he's a pretty dynamic player. Smith, a former Pro Bowler, has the size, speed, and catching ability to be a real threat in the red zone and as a versatile outlet for the quarterback. The Steelers, under general manager Omar Khan, seem to be exploring options to upgrade their tight end room, and Smith was one of the names on their radar. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Just recently, there's been a shift in the conversation. The Steelers are now reportedly eyeing free agent wide receiver Gabe Davis, who's coming off a promising season with the Buffalo Bills. Davis, with his size and deep ball ability, could be a perfect fit to complement the Steelers' receiving core. Imagine Davis stretching the field alongside Deontay Johnson, with George Pickens' replacement stepping in and creating more space for Najee Harris in the running game. It's clear that the Steelers are trying to address their offensive weapons with a multi-pronged approach, adding both a reliable pass catcher and a potential red zone threat. Now let's talk about the tight end position again, because it's a critical piece of the puzzle. The Steelers' current starter, Pat Freiermuth, showed flashes of brilliance last season. He's a young, talented player with a bright future, but it's no secret that adding a veteran or an upgrade at tight end could make the offense even more potent. That's where the rumors surrounding Kyle Pitts come into play. Pitts, the former top 5 pick out of Florida, has been a bit of a disappointment so far in Atlanta. Coming out of college, he was hyped as one of the most promising tight ends in years, but his NFL career hasn't quite lived up to that hype. After posting over 10 yards in his rookie season, expectations were sky high, but injuries and inconsistency have hampered his development. Yet despite the struggles, Pitts still possesses immense talent. He's 6'6", fast and agile, with a skill set that could make him a mismatch nightmare in the NFL. The interesting part is that the Falcons, who are now actively listening to trade offers, might be willing to move him, especially since he's entering the final year of his rookie deal. Reports from Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz suggest that the Falcons have already received calls about Pitts and that the Steelers could be a potential landing spot. Now, I know what you're thinking, trading a high draft pick for a player like Pitts might seem risky, but the potential payoff could be enormous. Pittsburgh has lacked a true offensive mismatch since the days of Antonio Brown, and Pitts could fill that void perfectly, especially with a quarterback like Kenny Pickett developing and looking for reliable targets. And here's a key point. The connection between the Steelers' new head coach Matt Canada and Atlanta's former offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, who's now in Pittsburgh, could facilitate such a trade. Having that familiarity and understanding of Pitts' strengths and weaknesses could make negotiations smoother. Plus, the Steelers have shown in the past that they're not afraid to make bold moves if it means improving the roster. A trade for Pitts might cost them a day 2 pick, which is a significant price, but in today's NFL, you sometimes need to make those bold decisions to get over the hump. Now, I want to pause here for just a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal, because this is where it gets even more intriguing. The Steelers' offense, which has shown flashes last season, could become a real powerhouse if they make the right moves. Adding a player like Pitts, or even bringing in a guy like Jonnu Smith, would give Kenny Pickett multiple options and make the offense much more dynamic. It's all about creating mismatches, and Pitt's size and speed could turn him into a primary target in the red zone, helping the team punch in more touchdowns and improve their overall scoring. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. the AFC North is getting more competitive by the day. The Cincinnati Bengals, with Joe Burrow leading a high-powered offense, are still a force to be reckoned with. The Baltimore Ravens are always in the mix, especially if they find a reliable quarterback or improve their passing game. And the Cleveland Browns, with their revamped roster and Deshaun Watson's potential, are also looking to make a leap. The Steelers can't afford to stay stagnant if they want to keep pace, and that's why these potential trades and signings are so crucial. Looking at the bigger picture, the Steelers' front office, led by Omar Khan, is clearly aware of the need to stay aggressive. The NFL offseason is all about making those strategic moves to improve the roster, and Pittsburgh, with its rich history of winning and resilient fan base, is always in the mix. They've built a reputation for drafting well, developing talent, and making savvy trades, and this offseason seems to be no different. The potential move for Pitts or Jonnu isn't just about filling a roster spot, it's about creating a team that can contend for championships, and that's what Steelers fans should be excited about. Of course, there are always questions and uncertainties. Will Atlanta really trade Pitts? How much will it cost? Will the Steelers be able to get the deal done without sacrificing too much draft capital? These are the questions that will be answered in the coming weeks. But one thing is for sure, the Steelers are actively exploring options, and their willingness to be aggressive indicates that they're not content with just making the playoffs. They want to go all the way. They want to return to the Super Bowl, and every move they make now is about setting that stage. And let's be honest, folks, Pittsburgh's history of resilience, tough football, and never-give-up attitude is what keeps the fan base fired up. From the steel curtain defense of the 1970s to the recent playoff runs, the Steelers have always been about that winning mentality. The current roster, with stars like T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Najee Harris, is already talented, but to truly compete at the highest level, they need that extra edge. That's what these trade rumors, free agent visits, and potential signings are all about, adding that extra piece to push them over the top. So as we look ahead to this offseason, it's clear that the Steelers are in a strategic phase. They're weighing their options carefully, exploring trade opportunities, and trying to build a roster that can not only contend but dominate. The NFL is a league of matchups, and having a versatile, explosive tight end like Pitts or a dependable veteran like Jonnu could be the difference between a good season and a great one. It's about taking risks, making bold moves, and trusting the process, qualities that Pittsburgh has exemplified throughout its history. Now, for all the fans out there, I want you to imagine that future. Kenny Pickett firing passes to a tall, athletic tight end who can stretch the field or dominate in the red zone. Imagine the Steelers' offense with a healthy Najee Harris running behind that offensive line with more weapons at their disposal. It's a vision that could become reality if the right moves are made in the coming weeks. Pittsburgh's front office knows that, and they're not afraid to make bold decisions. And of course, it's not just about the players. It's about the culture, the pride, and that relentless drive to win that's been ingrained in the Steelers' DNA for decades. Every offseason, fans hope for that one move that can transform the team, and this year might be no different. Whether it's trading for Pitts, signing a free agent, or making a key draft pick, the goal is clear: build a team that can go all the way. This franchise has a storied history, and every season is an opportunity to add another chapter to that legacy. So as we await further updates, keep your eyes on Pittsburgh. Watch how the team maneuvers through the offseason, because the moves that are being discussed now could shape the Steelers' future for years to come. Whether they land Pitts, Smith, or another playmaker, one thing is certain: they're not settling for mediocrity. They're aiming for greatness, and as Steelers fans, that's exactly what we want to see. We want to believe that this team can overcome any obstacle, that they can rise from setbacks, and that they can bring another Lombardi home. Remember, the NFL offseason is a long, unpredictable journey. But what makes it exciting is knowing that your team is actively working behind the scenes to improve, to upgrade, and to compete at the highest level. The Steelers have always been about resilience and toughness, and it looks like they're ready to add more firepower to their arsenal. Whether it's through a trade for Pitts, a signing of Davis, or perhaps a draft pick that surprises everyone, the future is bright for Pittsburgh. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these rumors and potential moves? Do you think Pitts would be the perfect fit? Or do you believe the team should stick with what they have and focus on developing their current roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, this channel is all about sharing the passion, the knowledge, and the excitement of being a Steelers fan. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. The offseason is just getting started, and trust me, the best is yet to come. Let's go, Steelers.